Tonight on Deep Fat Fried, I'll look into the strange addictions and obsessions of the angry shaved apes that call this planet home. Are you ready? Let's Deep Fat Fry strange addictions and obsessions.
Neat. This is an episode about me. Neat.
Are you strange? Are you addicted? Are you obsessed? What's your addiction, Paul? I know you're addicted to cigarettes. You and I switched on that one. When we met, I was a smoker, you were a non-smoker. Now it's the other way around.
I mean, the operative drug never left me. I was a heavy nicotine user the whole time you've known me.
That's true. You never did quit the nicotine.
So I just changed the way that I get it. But yeah,
you vape like crazy. Oh, dude, Paul. I remember the times if Paul left his vape, it was like literally like code red, like Scotty, I think I left the vape at your house. Can we go back and get the vape? And I was like, oh man,
dude, I'm a hard fucking nicotine addict, dude.
You are. So Scotty, what the hell is addiction? Tell us what that is.
Oh, I'm glad you asked, TJ. Yes, addiction is a complex condition, a brain disease that is manifested by compulsive substance abuse, despite harmful consequences. That means, TJ, it's bad for you. But you
so weed is not an addiction because it's not harmful.
That's not true.
That's an addiction. Yes, it is. Oh my God, it most certainly is.
It's medicine, bro.
All contraire, boy, go round.
Yeah. TJ, people with addiction have intense focus on certain substances, excuse me, such as alcohol or drugs, which I don't blame them.
I like alcohol.
To the point it will take over their life. Well, that is too far. They keep using the substance even when they know it will cause problems. Me and TJ's most famous addict of our lives is a guy named JD. Here's a guy freebasing. It doesn't look too happy to be freebasing.
Yeah.
It's Chris Rock.
Usually when you're...
I know that is Chris Rock.
Yeah. But Chris Rock does not look happy. But most people when they freebase are happy.
Yeah, I think this is Chris Rock from Dead Presidents, I want to say. It's like memed on now, but it was like a really serious performance where he's like a crack addict that was like, man, I'll suck your fucking dick, man. I'll suck your dick. Just please. He's like got so desperate that he was willing to do whatever to get a hit. But
yeah, dude, I'll tell you what, I was going through the French Quarter one time I went down there and I saw these two guys just like fucking openly freebasing in the French Quarter. I was like, we got this, like, I made eye contact. They looked at me and I was like, I crossed the street. I'm like, no. I don't want nothing, dude. You smoke crack, that's your business. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you live anywhere near a fucking city of sufficient size, you've seen somebody or been around somebody that's on crack, and you grew up in the last fucking 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, you've been around crack and probably not known it. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah.
It's a super duper, especially at that time in the 90s and the 80s and shit. It was a super abused drug.
Here's an overdose map. Opioids.
Ohio, West Virginia.
Obviously, the darker reds are the worst states.
Yep. The Northeast pretty badly affected with these opioid overdoses. The West Coast not as bad, at least with these numbers in this time. I guess there's not included Louisiana. We don't know how we're doing down here. I wouldn't guess.
All of the grays are just like
Hey, you want my guess? Not great.
There's always this argument that goes on, and it happens not just with this topic, but like violence and mental illness, and it's always this like nature versus nurture argument, right? And there's a lot of people out there that take a real hard stance that a lot of these things are one or the other. But the truth of the matter is, and I hate to be that like fence humping centrist here,
actually,
but when it comes to this though, like seriously,
take it, fence, take it.
Seriously though, it is both.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, it's not only that somebody like this person is explaining, who I assume is a doctor or a biologist or fucking psychologist or some shit.
She is
director National Institute of
Drug Abuse.
Yeah. Okay. So I assume she didn't get that title by being a dude off the street. So, so what she's saying is that, like, as I understand it, is that there are people that, yes, you're born with a certain allele in your fucking genes that makes you more susceptible to alcohol abuse or drug abuse. But if on the nurture side of things, you're just not ever really exposed to that, and you never develop a habit with it, it never expresses itself.
Yeah.
So the idea that we can like identify somebody by their genes and go like, this is going to be a drug addict, that's it's not possible.
Yeah, but you could look at someone and be like, ooh, you might have some risk factors for this kind of
exactly,
behavior.
which is useful. Like that's totally useful, but there's no like alcoholic gene, because there are people that have all the genes for that never develop it. You know what I mean? Despite even being a occasional alcohol users or whatever the fuck, it just never.
Yeah.
Never
you might
happens.
be someone. Yeah, you might be someone who has the predilection or has some kind of like vulnerability, but still it never expresses itself because you're just never put in the right set of circumstances for it to do so.
This is crack.
I'm sorry, stop.
It isn't glamorous.
I want to see that in slow motion, dude.
You want to see it in slow?
I want to see PB say.
All right.
Okay, good.
All right, I'll do it for you.
This is crack.
How slow you want it?
Let's go half speed. Let's go there.
This is crack.
Oh God! What the fuck, dude?
Rock cocaine. It isn't glamorous or cool or kid stuff. It's the most addictive kind of cocaine, and it can kill you. What's really bad is nobody knows how much it takes. So every time you use it, you risk dying. It isn't worth it. Look, everybody wants to be cool, but doing it with crack isn't just wrong. It could be dead wrong.
Whoever made this commercial was on fucking crack. I'm sorry.
I don't know, dude. I'm of mixed minds about this shit, because like Pee Wee Herman, you got to understand.
Yeah, like what? So like, is the thinking behind this like, if Pee Wee Herman's being serious about it, then
yes.
it's fucking, like
because
that,
kids like he's a meme now, but I actually am a fan of Paul Rubens.
Sure.
I went to his alma mater.
He's a talented guy.
He's a really talented guy. I was privileged enough to attend Cal Arts for a semester, and that's his alma mater in California, in Valencia. And he's a really talented actor, performer, improvisational artist. And when I was a kid, he was like Big Bird to me, or like Captain Kangaroo, or whatever the fuck you want to, these other Ben 10 or whatever the fuck, right? He was that. And so seeing Pee Wee pop up on your screen and be very serious about something and not have it turn into a joke, like that is a good way for them to have reached kids with this message. Now, whether or not it worked, I'm not making that argument.
It probably did not.
Probably.
How about RoboCop? Come on.
Yeah, RoboCop's gonna stop him.
RoboCop don't like no drugs.
What's bugging you, Murphy?
Drugs. Drugs bug me.
Hi, that was Nancy Allen and me. I'm Peter Weller, the guy behind that mask. If you're a kid, please listen for a second. How do you keep a...
Why didn't you just have fucking RoboCop do the whole thing?
I want RoboCop to tell me.
Yeah, I don't care. No one gives a shit about no Peter Weller.
Yeah,
Get
Peter
RoboCop
Weller.
out here.
Man, I don't know, whatever. I don't want to piss on you guys' parade. Go ahead.
They're everywhere, sometimes even at home. But there is one place you can go that is 100% drug-free. No pot, no pills, no crack, no smack, no coke, no exceptions.
Sounds lame.
Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, that sounds lame.
Streets. No kidding.
I mean, you got to understand, dude, there was an epidemic of childhood drug use in poor communities.
There still is.
Yeah.
And there still is, right?
It hasn't gone away.
I mean,
and at the time, there wasn't like internet mass media, right? What kids were into was cartoons and RoboCop and Pee Wee Herman.
I remember being a kid and seeing this fucking RoboCop. Goddamn. Right. This was like during my childhood, and this thing got blasted out to me.
Right.
Cell phone addiction, sometimes referred to as problematic mobile phone use, is a behavioral addiction thought to be similar to that of internet gambling, shopping, or video game addiction, and leads to severe impairment or distress in one's life. In a study conducted by Baylor University, cell phone addiction was linked to impulsiveness and materialism, A preoccupation with material objects as opposed to intellectual, spiritual, or cultural values. I don't know how you really measure that, but maybe that's been
It's
shown.
probably what the people talk about.
The obsessive use of smartphones has been compared to that of credit card misuse and compulsive buying. With widespread accessibility of cell phone use at a younger age, teenagers are now especially prone to developing addiction to their cell phones or social media. Whether you or your loved one suffers from a cell phone addiction, there is hope for recovery. And it goes on to talk about some of the ways.
So you guys remember back in the fucking day, a couple years ago, I was talking about this and getting like being called a boomer and shit. And a lot of like, there's still like, you got to take this with a grain of salt. There's no,
still are, Paul.
What?
You still are a boomer. Just go ahead. I'm just interjecting my little.
What did you call me, TJ?
Called you a boomer, Paul. Well, I gotta check my cell phone.
Swipe. Dopamine. Swipe. I need a little hit of dopamine. Let me swipe. I was talking about this shit a couple of years ago. I wasn't the first person to fucking raise it as an issue, but I told people that this is a profound and widespread problem. This doesn't even talk about how this addiction that they're talking about relates to children. It's not necessarily just smartphones. It's screen use. Mm-hmm. So there are children that are not using it for the same reasons as adults, but these devices are designed to be addictive on not just an adult level, but on a very basic human level. And so when put into the hands of children, they do some of the same shit, but on a childhood development level at the most important time during your brain's development. So children that have unfettered access to these types of devices, even if they're not doing adult things like twittering or whatever the fuck, you know, they're still prone to these addictions. There are kids that will scream if you don't give them the iPad. You know what I mean? And it's like, what do you think that's doing?
Dude, I see.
This says 44% of Americans say they couldn't go a day without their mobile device.
So this is widespread, and in the next 20 years, assuming we don't die in a nuclear fireball, you are going to hear tons about the deleterious effects of this. Because guess what, guys? The long-term studies are being done right now. There just hasn't been time. Like with television, when people started positing like television is just like kids that are sat down in front of TV or people that spend a profound amount of time sitting in front of TV, like they have horrible, we posit that it's not good for them. And then the long-term studies came out in like the early 2000s. And guess what? All of the boomers back then that were like, it's going to rot your brains. They were functionally right. And now the scientists, boomers, are saying like, this is going to rot your brains even worse than TV.
Breastfeeding? Well, you better get over it. You don't be one of those weirdos that's breastfeeding your kid.
How do you skip that up?
Yeah, it is Selma Hayek.
Selma Hayek's addicted to having somebody suckle her mommy milkers?
Yeah. Well, she's addicted to feeding her children.
Well,
that's what she's addicted to.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, that could be... I'm not a kid, but, you know.
Her unusual bonding ritual turned into a full-blown addiction.
Oh, my God. Stop it. I am
Lisa's so hooked on consuming.
This is horse shit, by the way.
Come on, dude.
I kind of look at it and make sure it's relatively clean and just cat fur.
There's no way.
Fucking gross.
Put it in my mouth. I'll chew it up a little bit and then take it out and maybe mess with it a little bit and then put it back in.
Yeah.
I guess you could say maybe like a cotton ball taste. It's much less of a flavor than even human hair.
How do you know the flavor of that?
I mean,
I think we know why.
Lisa eats 3 quarter-size hairballs every day.
I find the cat hair that I eat all over the apartment, on the floor,
Ooh,
on the back of the
goodie.
couch, or on the perch. But the best ones are right off the cat.
But eating cat...
Fresh off the cat, dude.
Yes.
Though Casey initially found comfort by having her husband's ashes at her side, her addiction has recently evolved.
I guess with the transfer of his cremains, you know, some got into the cardboard box as well, and they spilled out on my hands. And I didn't want to wipe them off because that's my husband. I don't want to wipe him away. So I just licked it off my fingers, and here I am today, almost 2 months later, and I can't stop.
Man, it's sad when the best case scenario with something you're watching is that it's fake. That's like literally the best outcome, because if like this is actually real, this is like just so sad, and this woman needs mental help like desperately because she's not able to cope.
Does she need mental help, or does she need to be a star on My Strange Addiction?
I guess America has spoken. She needs to be a reality star for fucking her like little.
And then I ate my husband's ashes. Stir it into my chocolate milk like it was Ovaltine.
Eventually, I ran out of ashes and got remarried, and I didn't want to wait until my husband was ashes again, so I just started eating his pubes and toenail clippings, and now I'm addicted to that.
That'll be the next episode. Addicted to pubes. I just tell them to grow it faster, and I just tell them, look, if you got some friends, they need to shave their pubes. If it's that time, can they just bring that on over here, please?
Bring it on down now.
But it just progressed from there. Pretty soon, the pubes and the toenail clippings wasn't doing it anymore, so I slipped a knife in him and ate him. And now I'm addicted to sucking the marrow out of what's left of his bones.
Is she just a slow motion cannibal?
Well, I got to the point where I couldn't eat no more of him, sucked all the marrow and meat off the bones, so I took him and got the bones cremated. Now I just can't stop. Once you pop, the fun don't stop, you know?
I mean, it doesn't even say addicted. So.
Kelly is a freaky eater.
My wife Kelly is a freaky eater.
She just loves to have fried potatoes covered in cheese.
My wife Kelly is a freaky eater, and my dick's a BBW beater.
Yes, it is.
I love cheesy potatoes. That's all
I just keep on feeding her the cheesy potatoes because I like slapping that big fat ass and riding the wave.
Potatoes. I'll get me some cheese. I eat them cheesy potatoes. That's all I need.
I mean, this woman lives in the perfect fucking country.
I don't need nothing else but cheesy potatoes.
I mean, that is true.
You can find anywhere.
You can get cheesy potatoes at 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
And I fry up the potatoes.
Look,
and
I
then
fry.
what I do is I add the cheese, and then I eat the cheese, and I eat the potatoes.
This is her fucked up past where she didn't eat cheesy potatoes.
You know what? This is the saddest kind of fat fuck. Because, you know, there's so many fucking good foods out there that you could get fat on, and you're going to waste all of your fat getting on fucking cheesy goddamn potatoes, you stupid bitch.
Skip to the part where they're trying to make her eat some, like, broccoli or something.
Oh, my God.
That's like
you know what? Part. Here's the fucking thing. Here's the problem with that. Don't try to get this bitch to eat no fucking broccoli. Try to get her fucking be like, eat a cheeseburger, bitch. It's a fucking cheese. It's good.
Yeah.
Eat it.
Get her a hot dog or something.
Get her something else.
Yeah, something's just like you. Dude, yeah, like, dude, broccoli is
Before we worry about fucking, you're not going to lure off cheesy potatoes with fucking broccoli, you stupid
I've got some Brussels sprouts here for you.
Work on getting other things into her diet, and then maybe try to fucking get her to do something healthy.
Get her to eat pizza, and then eventually put broccoli on the pizza. You know what I mean?
Tried to cook her a little something extra. She just refuses. Just try a little taste.
No cheese, no potato. Blah. There's no way. You don't give someone a fucking. Is this guy a fucking moron? You know, if someone addicted to something, you give them a fucking Brussels sprout. Like, here's a food that's notoriously disgusting to a lot of people. Do you want to try that? Give her some fucking ice cream or some shit. She's fat.
By the way, I'm going to let you know this right here and right now. I don't buy that gag that just happened. That gag that just happened, she might be addicted to cheesy potatoes and eat nothing but this is her way of showing out in front of the camera so that she can get more cheesy taters. That's not, she ain't gagging.
Oh, I know. Oh, I can't even eat this.
I totally agree.
Could you guys just do me a favor? Bring some cheesy potatoes over here.
Bring the cheesy potatoes on over. I'm starving.
Hey, you know what? Here's a good addiction for you. Our fucking show. Watch us.
Yeah. Become a patron and get addicted to us.
Hey, wait. I'll tell you what. tell you what, you guys, I want to see some video footage of you guys sniffing another podcast and then doing the best gag take you possibly can.
Yeah. If you're already a fan, treat this fucking podcast like your cheesy potatoes and try and listen to 1 second of another podcast and gag and show everybody else how you can't even fucking do it.
Oh my God. I can't even. Give me deep fat fried. Give me deep fat fried.
I'm going to need some deep fat fried, y'all. I just can't.
Deep fat fried. Deep fat fried. Deep fat fried. Deep fat fried.